What if Daphne knew martial arts? Yes, they made fun of her in it, you know? Especially in the airport scene, they just straight up laughed at her when she was talking about how she transformed her body into a dangerous weapon. I was like, okay, whatever you say. Okay, so this is kind of terrible. This is absolutely horrible, actually. She looks like a man. Not that there's a problem with that. Okay, close enough. But still, I forgot everything that Geller did to prepare for her role as Daphne, but you know, she did bring Daphne to life perfectly. Like Velma, she set the bar pretty high for someone to play Daphne. And they have had some pretty girls, but they were lacking in the other elements that were needed to play Daphne. I could break into it, but I'm trying to keep these videos short because my camera is very low on memory and it dies every like 8 minutes kind of thing. So let's back to Pretty Little Daphne. One of my favorite things about Daphne, they always kind of had her like in the earlier cartoons from like 10 years ago, they had her kind of like doing this renovation. What's New Scooby-Doo? There we go. They always had her kind of like have this like useful hint to her, like she made a car battery, like a makeshift one, and then she also redesigned an entire closet into a freaking luxury room. I was like, damn. Why? Because she watches those fancy shop channels. And I was like, okay, I like this. Okay, so I am like failing because that ascot is what's throwing me off. But hers is more for fashion, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna curl this up and close it off. And then, oh yes, and Daphne's always had that, like, I guess not really hourglass, but like trim figure, that beautiful little figure. I'm not really sure what you call it. And then she's always had this like little set of stripes on the end of her dress, which I always found really adorable. You know, when she wasn't accident-prone Daphne. So just to get back in on the original set of topics, I am excited to see how Miss Amanda is going to portray her like voice-wise in the films coming out, because I love some of her work on Disney, so it's just like, you know, and then I love how they're not trying to get some voice actors that we're used to, you know, because they're not going to be around for forever, and it'd be nice to have, like, someone else to call, you know, if they're not available, you know, and I just kind of excited, you know. Yes, we don't know what she looks like, so I can't really tell you I'm enjoying anything that they're going to do with her, because I don't know what they're going to do, but she is changing for the better character-wise, much like the rest of the gang is, you know. They're picking out certain elements that were never truly good, or I guess they were too forced, and they're slowly shifting them away from that. Just like they're shifting, like I said, they're shifting her away from being a damsel in distress that always needs help, because she was always captured in the old cartoons on like a regular basis. Like if anyone would be captured, it's Daphne. I'm not saying I hated that, it was just kind of funny. And I found out something really funny about that, too. There was, like, a lot of people have noticed, if you watch the old cartoons, that it's either her, well, it's her and Freddy who are often going off alone. And there's a theory that they were going off and doing stuff, if you know what I mean. But I found out one of the creators stated that, I think it was a writer, he said he didn't really like Fred or Daphne as much as he liked Velma and Scooby and Shaggy, so he or she often wrote them off screen just to kind of get them out of there. I was like, that's just kind of messed up. But I do that with a set of characters in my own books, so I can't really like judge or anything. But I was like, wow, like, okay, gorgeous, there we go. There we go. So she's got her little headband, her hair is kind of fluffy. And I like when people do that with her hair. Okay, there we go. She's got kind of a fixed whatever. There we go. So, let's see. Not only does she have a pretty look, a fantastic figure, but she's also just got kind of charismatic personality. To some degree. Although she does come off as shallow sometimes. I won't give you any specific examples, but she does kind of flirt a lot in a lot of them. I don't know. I do like ones where she gets a chance to shine and like the smarts and stuff, like, you know, or when Velma is the one who's getting hit on and it's not her. Like, I like when they switch their dynamic of that, you know? Okay, so I'm just gonna try to give her like similar shoes, probably a skinnier, petite version. Point up and then I don't know. Okay, you're almost done here, honey. Okay, so I will go back and fix a lot of these later on, like fix the proportions and their knees, you know, like the... Okay. And she is done. She looks terrible. This is Daphne. Blake, or I think it's Daphne and Blake. I don't know. Daphne. Okay, so I had to move because I was losing all the feeling of my legs with how I was sitting. I'm sitting in my favorite spot where I like to draw in my sketchbooks. And I had removed the previous 4 pages because they were making it hard for this to flip back without falling out anyway. So I've saved the best for last. Scooby-Doo, the star of the show. The one dog we all know and love. Okay. So he is a Great Dane. And he is also able to talk, which I've always found hilarious. So I might look at pictures of him while I'm sketching him because I truly don't know how to draw dogs, let alone Scooby-Doo. Like, that takes a little bit of artistic vision just to even get right. Also, another quick shout out, the second one, to Dave Bastaro because Scooby-Doo is his favorite character. Scooby will get a little extra talk with this because he is the main character. You know, one of the very, very top main characters. And Scooby will be voiced by Frank Welker. I'm pretty sure that's what his name is supposed to be. Okay, so let's all watch me fail at drawing this iconic dog. So for him, not only did he get a leak of how he's gonna look through a picture, there was also some test footage that was released of Scooby, and I was like, oh my god, like, he looks so good. The design is kind of bouncy. It's cartoony, but it's 3D. Which I'm just kind of over the moon with because that is so hard to pull off. And no matter what angle he's standing, he looks like Scooby-Doo. In the early 2000 films, the only way they could bring Scooby-Doo to life was through CGI. And there were some places where, like, he did look like Scooby, but it was like, it was only so much they can do given the model that they had to create. And it was like, oh, you know? I'm not saying it was terrible, I'm just saying, like, you know, and I liked that design just because it was my first take on a realistic Scooby. Scooby is, he's just default everybody's favorite. Like, doesn't matter if he's not your #1 favorite, he gets a default spot on everyone's favorites list. Whether you want him to or not. Because he's the star of the show, and that's kind of the end of that. So, just to get into the voice actor that I just mentioned, I am excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. I have no idea who it is, so he probably has voiced Scooby before, for all I know. You know, but I just hope they don't take the route they did with that, Be Cool Scooby-Doo, where they kind of took away a lot of his, a lot of the way he spoke, which is with a lot of R's, you know, instead of saying, uh-oh, he'd say, ruh-roh, whatever. And that's just something you learn to love with Scooby no matter whether you think he's supposed to be grammatically correct or not. I mean, like, he's Scooby-Doo, he kind of does whatever he wants, you know, he's a cartoon. That's how he was made, and he's beautiful. He is probably one of the best dogs to be created. And the reason why I'm stating it like that is because another dog I like that often gets frightened in his show is Courage, and they have similar designs, especially when it comes to just the spots on their back look very similar. Yes, Courage is a bean and Scooby's a full-grown sketched dog, but that's just what I've always kind of drawn a comparison to. There is a whole lot that I would love to say about Scooby, but I've already said a lot of it. But I don't know. I'd like to think that if they're doing another live-action Scooby-Doo, that they would probably take that route of putting the little black blotches that I was talking about right here. Because I've seen that, you know, I think it's like Marmaduke, I think that's the name of the dog for that one. So I'm just doing a close-up sketch of Scooby because I am so bad at drawing dogs, like physical forms, bodies. Okay, we are almost done with this precious puppy. There we are. I do want to get a necklace that has like Scooby-Doo's like collar emblem. Like that. I just like the idea of it for some reason. Okay, so this is actually better than what I was expecting. My first like official drawing of Scooby-Doo. So I do have books. I used to try to draw Scooby, but that was back when my art skills were atrocious. Okay, there we go. And we have reached the end here. This may be like a 2-part Halloween special video, and it will be late as I film this because I haven't had a chance to, and then I've had so many problems with filming lately. One of them is the technical difficulties I've had with my editing program on my computer. I could just go on, but I won't. So that is Scooby-Doo. So some final thoughts before I go. Well, I'm excited for the Scooby-Doo movies that are going to be coming out in the future. I'm excited for the one coming out next year that we've had the leaks of, because it looks like it's going to be animated beautifully, and I cannot wait to see that just take place on a big screen if that's where it's coming out. I cannot wait for all the voice actors: Gina Rodriguez, Will Forte, Zac Efron, Frank Welker, Amanda, I can't say her last name. You know, I'm just excited for all of them. Amanda Seyfried, I'm gonna say that. So I'm sorry if I butchered any of those names, or if I mispronounced any of their names, or if some part of them are wrong. But I wanted to thank you all for coming to watch this Halloween special. Let me know if you like the idea of me doing one small change in the theme every year for Halloween, because I have an idea for next year, if you're interested. I'm working on costumes still, and I'm planning to debut my Selena in 2020. That's all I can kind of tell you. Once again, there's shout outs to Dave Astero, to Unica, who inspired the filming format that I use for this video. And shout out to all the fans that come back and watch, because I am very bad at uploading regularly. And thank you for putting up with that. But this has been Relena. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!